What up, YouTube Elleix? Coming back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast spawning. On the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have our purple Keiron player Jason going up against his opponent. Spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's our teal Terran player Yu. I've cast a ton of games with Yu at this point. He's a Grandmaster level player, so should be a fun one today. If you guys are new to my channel, I do cast a lot of custom StarCraft 2 content, so if custom StarCraft 2 games are something you're interested in watching, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, back to the show. What are we seeing right here? Yo! Oh, okay, you guys. I've been waiting for this moment for months. Whenever I first started casting the custom Scion races mod, I've been waiting for this moment. If you guys are not familiar, a lot like the Zerg, the Keiron have their macro mechanics tied to their main mining structures, so there's not really a lot of proxy options for the Keiron, but today we're seeing it. We're seeing a proxy citadel coming down right next to right next to Yu's base, right next to his natural. So one other mechanic I want to say, if you guys are not familiar with the Keiron, is they warp in units. I want to say it's about a pylon's worth of distance around their citadel, so all their macro comes down to this building. Man, oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought here. I was ready to go. I have a tank full of fuel. That fuel is a croissant and some coffee. And oh, okay. I'm really excited to cast this game now. Yu does have the Reaper coming down towards the main base for Jason. And it also looks like he had an SCV right here, so he was scouting. He sees that there's no natural base down just yet for Jason, and I don't think he saw this, but we have what is going to be 4 edifices. This is basically a 4-gate. This is a 4-gate equivalent for the Keiron. This Reaper almost goes down. It does get a kill. It must have killed one of these Volts. The Volt is a tier 1 unit for the Keiron. It's ranged. It shoots up and down, so it's pretty cool. We have the first Volt right here in the natural base knocking on the door. This Marine will be able to take it down. No, it doesn't. This Volt just running away with 4 health and 1 kill to its name. Oh man, this Reaper does have 2 kills, almost dead, but will heal up. This bunker though should either get canceled. No, it looks like Jason abandons that prospect and decides to go for the main base of Yu right here. Yu is in a tough position. He does have a Widow Mine coming down. He also has the wall right here. Will be able to repair these supply depots if it gets hairy. How did this Volt get in? Is this not a full wall? The Volt doesn't have any sort of warp in mechanic. That's weird. That looks like a full wall. Maybe it's not. Anyway, Widow Mine does take out 1 Volt at least, but we have 4 Volts knocking on the front door. This Reaper with 3 kills already. We have 2 Marines as well on the high ground. So no worker. No, okay, 3 workers went down so far in this game, but this is, at this point, I want to say it's a 2-base all-in. It's technically a 3-base all-in. If you're looking at the mini-map, we do have an expansion coming down in the natural base location for our purple Keiron player, and consequently, we also have what is this citadel right here, right next door to the Terran base. We do have this command center lifting off. Will ultimately survive. These Volts don't have a lot of DPS against buildings. They are that tier 1 unit. These Marines doing their best to keep this wall intact. We do have a tank on the way as well. Once this tank sieges up, I want to say this push is as good as done, but at the same time, one of the supply depots goes down. The doors are open for the Terran base right here. Man, I can't get over it. The range on these tanks. Yu preemptively pulling these SCVs, forcing Jason out of his home. He's like, get out of my house. We are not about this right now. We're going to play a good, clean game of StarCraft. But man, I don't think you necessarily saw the proxy right here. I can't. I have so much trouble saying proxy where Keiron's concerned. The most we've seen on my channel are cannon rush equivalents, but not proxy plays. And this Citadel, Jason, my man, respect. He's committing to this. We have what is 4 converters queued up right here. On what I guess is technically his second base. His natural base is technically his third, but it's more saturated, to be fair. What else do we have building? We have some outlets building. These are air structures. These allow him to build air units. As you can see, they are floating. Man, I'm losing my train of thought right now. I don't even know how to cast this game anymore. We haven't done any sort of proxy games on my channel, dude. This is so sick. The tank is now down in the natural base location, but this is, I want to say, a 3-base all-in at this point for Jason. Jason coming in, trying to kill this tank, and ultimately will take it out. This tank was just a little bit too forward, but we also have the tank on the high ground right here, which will push these volts and this subjector, no, not subjector, sorry, this pulsar back a little bit, but also forcing this orbital to lift off once again. So Yu is technically on 1 base while Jason is on 3 bases, which is so wild to me. How many workers died? 9 workers died, so really not a lot of damage economy wise where workers are concerned, but keep in mind he is keeping Yu on 1 base right now. Yu moving this orbital command to the pocket natural right here behind his main base, so he will ultimately start mining. We do have a bunker coming down as well, and it looks like Jason's going back home, preparing himself for a macro game or preparing himself for some sort of counterattack. Yu is a Grandmaster level player, so at this point he has to know there's some weirdness going on. There's some sort of proxy citadel on the map, because there's no way a Keiron would be able to warp in units that fast and that many of them unless there was some sort of proxy. At least that's what I think you should discern from this, but at the same time he hasn't scouted this at all, I don't think. Let's see. No, he hasn't. So he has no idea where this proxy is, and as far as he knows, there's no base in the natural location as well. But at this point in the game, if you are playing a Grandmaster level game, you know there's some expansion somewhere out on the map. We do have a decent army supply here as well for both players. 25 army supply to 25, so both of these guys are evenly matched. At this point, I think Jason's also a Grandmaster level player, although I'm not familiar with him. So let me know down in the comments below what rank you think Jason is, keeping in mind that Yu is a Grandmaster level player. And look at all these expansions as well. We have what is technically a 4th base coming down. I'm actually surprised he isn't taking his pocket base, though. What? Okay, I thought this was another converter. I thought he was going for some sort of sneaky 5th base, I guess. But no, he's scouting around, making sure there's no weirdness, no weird proxies out on his side of the map as well. Taking a look at what the upgrades are like. We have what is speed upgrades. I can't remember what this is for. I think this is for the volts, and I don't recall what this upgrade is for the Keiron. But there's no upgrades on the map for Yu right here. We have what is going to be a big push at the front door. At the same time, we have what are the Auroras doing some damage, but here we go. We have a battle cruiser. I should have realized this. It's a battle cruiser rush coming out of Yu right now. Oh man, I think Jason was paying attention to his Auroras, though. Maybe that battle cruiser caught him off guard, losing his entire army in the natural base location and losing his Auroras right here as well in the main base to these battle cruisers. And the battle cruisers are warping into the natural, or sorry, not the natural base, the main base for Jason. And Jason is finding himself in a really tough position right now. He really committed to that push and left nothing back home to defend. We do have the volts, but the volts ultimately a squishy unit and not a lot of DPS as well. Taking a look at these battle cruisers, 5 kills on this one on the bottom, and how many on this one? 10 kills on this one, so 17 kills total spread between just 2 battle cruisers. Taking a look at the workers killed still in favor of our purple Keiron player. Taking a look at the resources lost, though, resources lost, a double deficit for Jason. So Jason lost more resources in this game. At the same time, though, let's see our worker count. The worker count, 66 workers to 43 in favor of Jason, and his sneaky proxy base has not been spotted this whole time. It's fully saturated. Oh my god, we're at 9 minutes in the game and Yu still hasn't spotted this, but he's going for the production of Jason right here. One of these edifices will go down, the second one in jeopardy as well, but we have a good army right here. So even though he lost more resources in this game, his income is basically double of his opponent. He's not lost, wait, how many workers did he lose? He lost 6 workers this game, and that's it. He's at 66 workers still, so it looks like he's not building workers right now, focusing more on army supply, and army supply is still even, 46 army supply to 44. Taking a look at our upgrades, we have Yamato Cannon on the field as well. So you going for a full commit into this airplay, I feel like. We have how many battle cruisers? Right now we have 4 battle cruisers on the field. Oh my god, let's see. Let me just make sure I'm right about that. No, 3 battle cruisers on the field. Wait a minute, I could have sworn I saw 4. Anyway, though, we have Echoes as well. I think the Echo is kind of a utility air unit for the Keiron. I don't play Keiron enough. I really should. We also have the Inducers. The Inducers are really cool. So they have this interesting DPS mechanic. As you can see, there's this orb right here. The longer distance that it goes, the longer it takes for them to actually do damage. It bounces back into their back, basically. As GG Sigmar said, guy that I've cast a few games with, they're basically like playing basketball right here. Hopefully we get to see that. These battle cruisers finally spotting this proxy base for Jason, and this proxy base at this point is going to be very tough to defend, especially with that warping mechanic for those battle cruisers. You could basically ping pong between bases. And this base is so far away from everything else that I really don't know if this base is going to survive into the late game, which is what we're going to be seeing right now. And we also have what is going to be, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th base for Jason as well, to what is 4 bases for you. And this base is not even saturated yet and may go down. It is spotted, and here we go. This is what I mean. You can see these orbs coming back towards these inducers right here. The Yamato Cannon may take out one of the inducers, and it does. Army supply is in favor of Jason, though. 68 army supply to 54. Workers also in favor of Jason. 70 workers to 53, and you is now supply blocked. Oh, man. This game is insane, you guys. I haven't even had a moment to make any jokes. It's just constant talking. I'm going to lose my voice after this cast. I promise you that. Oh, man. Good macro for Jason, I gotta say. The more I watch him, the more convinced I am that this guy's a Grandmaster level player, especially considering the fact that you is also a Grandmaster level player from Australia, I believe. And I'm honestly shocked. I'm honestly so shocked that the Citadel is still down. We do have about 6 workers less on it, but man, I can't believe it hasn't even taken any damage outside of its shields. Taking a look at the workers killed, 18 workers killed by you to 14 by Jason. Look at the range on these inducers, almost able to take out this tank, and the tank does go down. This tank sieging up, replacing it. We also have a full bunker of Marines right here. We have a lot of battle cruisers though, man. And we have 1 floating barracks. You doesn't even care anymore. He's like, no, I'm just going for the battle cruisers. What he could do if he really doesn't care about this is do some scouting with it, fly it to the main base of the Keiron. That's something I might do rather than just leave it floating. But you has more important things to worry about. He has a huge push at his natural base's front door. These tanks doing a lot of work though. This tank with 4 kills. This tank with 3 kills, also supported by these battle cruisers, forcing the Keiron army back. And man, look. I genuinely don't know how this base is still alive and still saturated. Jason's actually thrown 3 additional workers on the mineral line. He's not bothering with this Vespian Geyser though, but we have, just as I said it, we have some Hellions, which I think were specifically built for this moment. Great reaction time by Jason though, running his workers away, and his army's close enough by that he will actually save this. And I didn't realize the siege tank's in range of this Vespian Geyser, which makes sense that Jason decided to forget about it. Oh my god, and we don't really have any harassment coming down for you, which, to be fair, I feel like there's only 1 Stratus here. Okay, there's only 1 Stratus here. No, 2 Stratuses, excuse me. But I still feel like with enough battle cruisers, there's some damage you could do with his battle cruisers. I mean, look at how many he's got, but it's possible he's also afraid of overextending himself and leaving his base vulnerable to the Keiron army, which is filled with Inducers, Cruxes, which are spellcasting units for the Keiron, and a few meat shields of Volts. Oh my god. 3rd base is in jeopardy. We do have a push right here. At the same time, we have some Hellions right here as well. Jason not reacting to this. He's got too much to worry about. Losing his entire army to these battle cruisers, but a lot of the battle cruisers go down. Finally reacting to these Hellions, but all the workers go down, it looks like. Taking a look at the workers killed, 37 workers killed to 18. So that was a huge engagement on both sides for you. You able to defend his third base, and also, I guess this is technically his fourth base because he did take this as his natural, so his natural is technically his third base. But anyway, able to protect his expansion right here and able to do some tremendous damage to the economy, to the mineral line of this proxy base. At the same time, though, taking a look at the workers, it's still 66 workers to 51 in favor of our purple Keiron player. Jason just did a really good job at expanding in the early game, and he's not really getting harassed. He does have some static defense, but I really feel like it's not technically enough static defense. Only 2 Stratuses in each mineral line to a whole fleet of battle cruisers, which we see coming towards the other side of the map. Man, he could just focus fire these things down. I guess there's 3 here technically, but he's going for what is going to be the third base for Jason. At the same time, we have a big push right here. We also have the Myriads, which are basically grounded carriers for the Keiron. We do have a planetary fortress right here, which is getting healed up by these SCVs. It's so close to dying, but not quite. And at the same time, this whole mineral line got cleaned up by you right here. What a wild game. We're 16 minutes in. This is effectively a long macro game at this point. Taking a look at the workers killed, bro. 54 workers killed to 37. So a lot of workers killed on both sides, and somehow Jason is still ahead in worker supply, even though he lost just about double, not quite double, but 20 more workers than his opponent. These Stratuses trying to do some work, but as I said, just focus fire them down. I mean, they're good enough static defense, but not for an entire fleet of carriers. But we have the Paragons as well, the capital ships for the Keiron. These are really good units, but they're very, very expensive. As I recall, they cost about 450 minerals. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to go check, but man, they are not a cheap unit, but they're a really good unit. They're a bit slow as any capital ship, so nothing crazy right there. There's some really intense defense at the natural base location for you. You trying to run away with this command center, but it will go down. Man, the Paragon, such a sick unit. I'd like to see more Paragons though, so he has something to match against this fleet of battle cruisers. Oh my god, I cannot believe it. We have more Hellions right here, constantly doing damage, but respect to Jason for keeping this base alive. I mean, 17, almost 18 minutes into the game and his proxy base is still alive. Keep in mind, this is his first base, and he has a ton of static defense here as well. We have the Nullifier, which is a ground form of static defense, and we also have the Stratus, which is that air defense, anti-air defense. Bro, oh my god, I need a sip of coffee. Things are finally slowing down, but man, this game has been non-stop action, dude. I still don't know who's going to win, but looking at the minimap, Jason has much more map control. I mean, look at this. He has what, like his 6th or 7th base right here in the top right-hand corner, while you is stuck on 3 bases still. This is not a position you want to be in at 18, almost 19 minutes into this game. Taking a look at the army supply though, 81 army supply to 78. So despite all this, Yu is doing a great job at keeping up with the macro, and also despite the fact that he's at now 41 workers to 65. So he's at a deficit in income, but he's doing a great job at macroing. We do have a lot of battle cruisers right here. What I would do in this situation is Yamato 1 or 2 of these Paragons. Yu throwing out a question mark. I wonder if there was a pause. Or I really don't know why you threw out that question mark. But here we go. We have a decent push. Maybe you was wondering why. Maybe he's like, why is this game? Why is this game? Why is this a thing? Finally, the legendary hero citadel may go down, and it does. At almost 20 minutes into the game, the proxy citadel goes down. The rest of the static defense going down as well. It looks like Jason decides to try and avenge this. He's focus firing this battle cruiser right here, and it's just barely surviving. Possibly overextended himself as well. I don't think this is enough Paragons to deal with these battle cruisers. The battle cruisers, though, taking a beating, but ultimately able to take out these Paragons. This one Paragon with 5 kills surviving for so long. Really, what Jason should have done was pull the rest of his army into those battle cruisers. I think if he pulled the rest of his army, he could have destroyed those battle cruisers with those Paragons. I mean, we only have what is about 4 battle cruisers left from that engagement. At the same time, we have a couple more Paragons on the way. We have an untouched base right here on the top right-hand corner. You trying to land his 4th base finally. Oh, man. Worker supply still in deficit. 41 workers to 68. Army supply, 77 army supply to 82. So virtually even. This is still technically anybody's game, but Jason has a lot more staying power in this game with his superior economy. Man, what I really want to see you do is go for the harassment with those battle cruisers. He does have a decent amount of defense right here, but this is still a command center. This is not a planetary fortress. You pulling his SCVs, trying to repair his defenses right here. What I would do in this situation is, okay, here we go, warping in the battle cruisers, but will these battle cruisers survive is the question. This is a warp in on top of the Keiron army. The battle cruisers go down. The rest of the army for you going down. You throwing out the GG, giving the victory to Jason. What an action-packed custom Scion races game, man. Oh, my voice is going to be gone tomorrow morning, you guys. I promise you. This was a sick game. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.